This is my first visit. My first visit, yeah.
Arriving in here, flying in, probably from LA, arriving. Talk to me about how would you describe this? You're calling your friend at home.
Well, I think my initial my initial response driving in was I'm thinking to myself, it's the middle of the night back in Los Angeles. So my body clock was sort of like, wow, I hope I'm not really dreaming. I hope when I actually wake up, this is all still here. So I think that might have been my first response. But it's pretty breathtaking, pretty amazing.
Why does it feel so? Your first time at the Monte Carlo TV Festival. What are you most looking forward to?
Well, I have selfish reasons aside from being here and being, asked and given the privilege to come out and visit. As actors, you rarely you work with the actors, the cast of your show, but CBS is it's a big university, and a lot of the other classmates I don't get to see that often. So I get a chance to spend some time with other actors from other shows that you don't get to see, and it's so great when you get just a few minutes to meet other actors and you work on the show and to say hello. And there's nothing more rewarding than to get like a hello and hey, I love your show from somebody else who's doing exactly the same thing that you are. It means a little something to, you meet an actor who's working on another show, or whether it's Law and Order, or whether it's like the cast of The Big Bang Theory. We're all from the same network. And you get to say each other and you tell them how much you love their show, and it's like it's kind of a special thing, especially coming from another actor, because they don't have to tell you that. It's like it comes from the heart.
You
Yeah.
hear that from a lot of people because when you're working on your show, NCIS,
Yeah.
you're kind of in your own bubble.
You're in a vacuum. You're working in a vacuum, and sometimes you forget, or you meet people who are in the business and they go, "I watch your show," and you're like, "Really?" So it's really it is. It's a nice, a pleasant surprise.
And fun to kind of have this university reunion and going to parties with the press.
Yeah, I always say it's like we all go to the same school. We don't all have classes together, but it's like you're all going to the same university. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about your character, bein.
Okay.
If you would kind of get me up to speed, because I read that you will be returning to NCIS in the
Yeah,
Talk to me about where your character's at and where we're going.
Well, people say, well, our season 9 ended on a big cliffhanger. There was a huge explosion in the NCIS headquarters. So once word got out that I had signed on for another year, the word started coming in through like social media. Guess you survived the explosion, and I replied, yeah, I found a really sturdy desk to hide under, or if I did survive, it's going to be one of the slowest deaths in the history of television, an entire season, of the character dying. So we don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to be in a hospital with a bandage on, slowly drifting off into the Netherlands for 13 episodes, or if we've survived and are intact. But we had a huge season 10 or season 9. We celebrated our 200th episode, which was basically a real tribute to the fans. We brought back some characters that people hadn't seen, storylines that hadn't been addressed in several seasons. Sort of all the things that sort of culminated in the Mark Harmon's, the Gibbs character, the most sort of impactful characters and moments on the show. We sort of, kind of brought back to the fold in the 200th episode. And we've sort of left everybody in peril here. We've had a series, there's now a sort of a deranged, wealthy serial killer who's played by Richard Schiff of West Wing fame, who's sort of seeking revenge on the NCIS crew. So even the people who you survive an explosion, and then you got to deal with the serial killer. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy time when we get back. We got a mess to clean up, and we got a serial killer to catch. So we're going to be busy.
We should enjoy the Riviera now, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
We've got a lot to do.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the fans? I wonder when you're on such a successful show like NCIS, do you pay attention in social media? Do you pay attention to what the fans are saying about your character, about the storylines? Do you kind of hear a lot of feedback when you're out and about?
You do. That's when you know you're on a successful show. I mean, because sometimes the feedback is, to me, I enjoy it. I enjoy the people who understand that the role that I'm playing was designed to be adversarial to the main character. There were certain things that are intentional as far as the kind of dynamic that is created between the Gibbs and the Vance character. That's what we set out to do. Give him something different to play off of. create an obstacle for him to overcome. And then you have the fans who just say, I hate your character. That means you're watching the show, so I'm okay with that. So, and for me, I think at this point in my career, I can relish it and really appreciate it. If this had happened 20 years ago, I would probably really not see it and really appreciate it for what it is, because a lot of young actors, if you're on a hit show, you think it's the norm. You think you're just going to go in your career from one hit show to another hit show. And sometimes you find out, much to your dismay, that you may have been on the only hit show in your entire career, or it may be 20 years before you get down this road again. And to try to tell a young actor to really enjoy and cherish and relish the fact that you're somewhere on the Riviera talking about the success of your show. This doesn't happen every day. This is not the norm. This is actually the exception to the norm for most actors. So that's the thing that I cherish the most.